Welcome once again to Round Mountain Tai Chi. I think if you follow the direction of my shadow, you might actually be able to tell which order I did the videos in, which leads me to think maybe I should have done them in just a totally random order. That way I could pretend I was doing this over successive days as opposed to trying to cram quite a lot into one afternoon. Anywho, right, so we've got to the end of our opening of the form. And so then it's time to start moving into something a bit more elaborate as we start getting into the real meat of our postures. So I think it's only right to get to where we need to be by going the long way around, as in let's go through the form up until that point. Okay, so heels together, toes apart, gaze just going off into the distance, allowing our thoughts to sink and settle. Sink all a bit too early there, I think. Let's just hold it back. Allow the thoughts to settle a bit more. We're not in a rush. And we sink all of the weight down onto the right leg. Hands inflate in front of the thighs. Let's take our step out to the side. We transfer the weight. Turn the right foot, toes to the north, squaring the waist. Stand up, equalizing the weight. Arms rise, led up by the wrists. And the fingers rise. And the elbows sink and the hands come back down. The elbows go back, fingertips point up. Hands come back down in front of the thighs. Okay, so this is at the end of our opening posture, Chi Shu. Okay, so what next? There's quite a few things are going to happen. Okay, so this is what we're going to do, and then I'll break it down into steps. So, going to sink, turn, catch the moon, transfer all our weight forward onto that right leg, squaring our waist up toward the east, still holding the moon, or this large ball of energy. Okay, so there's quite a lot happens there all at once. So let's just start off with the legs. Okay, so ignoring the arms. Okay, they were here. I'm just allowing them to hang. So first thing, we're doing that. Oh, that's a bit similar, isn't it? Been doing the little warm-up exercises, I hope. So you sink and turn. Okay, this foot hopefully pointing off toward the east now. Okay, so all the weight's still here, so I could lift that foot off. The height of a grain of rice is the term that I often hear. Okay, then we're going to move all our weight over onto that leg. So it squares up the waist. This foot will peel off the ground. You can't keep it there and get the waist over without sort of doing really weird things. Okay, now over here, all the weight's on this leg, so your weight is off to one side a little bit, sort of here, as opposed to trying to sort of hang here. It's, it has to drift across. Okay, all the way over to the left, all the way over toward the east, all the weight on the right leg. So we turn. Watch out for your knee as well. Okay, so even though I'm sinking not very low, but a little bit, if you don't feel you can, just a little bit higher is good. Okay, don't over stress anything. And then we come all the way forward and allowing that foot to peel off. There's no weight on that back foot now, so you could just lift it off the ground. So it doesn't really matter what it's doing. Okay, we don't need to maintain a connection. All right, so we sink, we turn, we transfer the weight, squaring up the waist. So that is the legs. It's always good to think about what are the legs doing first. Okay, then the bit that everyone always watches is what your arms are doing. So we're here, we're going to catch the moon. Okay, so catching the moon. So our right hand is, apologies for whacking the microphone I've got there. It's just around about the solar plexus, sort of center of your chest. Your left hand down below, in front of an area called the dantian. So it's sort of the cauldron of the chi, let's say, and it's just a little bit below your navel, a little bit further back. That's what we talk about as the dantian. It's sort of this, and it can be thought of also as where the engine room of our chi, of our movement. So it's here, okay, and that's all the arms do in the whole of this posture. They just do that. It just looks more because as we turn the waist, that's when those arms are moving. It's that turning of the waist that helps us move those arms. Okay? They say that the air should have the consistency of water. So imagine turning your body in the pool. You'd have to use effort to keep your arms moving with your body. So they kind of want to drift. So that's kind of what's happening here. Okay? So drifting behind, and this is just coming up underneath. And then as we transfer the weight forward, just keep that ball of energy there. Not too close to the body, not too small, not too big, and not too far. Okay? Trying for a Goldilocks point, as it were. So sink, turn the waist, we catch the moon. Transfer all the weight forward onto the right leg. Squaring the waist up. So just concentrating that you're feeling your foot nice and flat. Remember I had that idea of the 3 points of your feet all equally supporting the weight. Okay? So not too much on the outside or on the inside, front and back. It's sort of nice and stable. Okay? Should feel fairly connected in. Okay? I might talk about a thing called root, which is that connection into the ground. Okay? So again, just from here, so we'll break this down into 2 little steps because I don't know about you, but it's quite tricky to remember all the different postures. So breaking it down is always a good thing. We sink, turn the waist and catch the moon. We transfer the weight, squaring up the waist towards the east. So again, from the end of our Qi Shi, opening posture, okay, we sink, turn the weight and catch the moon. We transfer the weight, squaring up the waist towards the east. Okay. Try not to lean forwards or lean back. Okay. So you've got the crown of the head, got your tailbone is supposed to sort of hang down as well. So we're not trying to stick our butt out here. Sort of, if anything, it's kind of scooping underneath a little bit. Okay. Sometimes you can sort of, if you wriggle your hips around a little bit, there's a point where it just sort of seems to just go boom, and sinks and settles. So if you can feel for that, that's a good thing. Okay, so remember, we get up to here, sink and turn the waist, transfer the weight forward onto that right leg, squaring up the waist towards the east. Okay, so remember to go through that a few times, just really getting it to bed in. Okay, and yeah, let's just keep practicing. Okay, someday there will be a class. These will still be online as a little reminder, or anyone thinking of coming to class. What's it going to be like? What's he going to say? You know, it's going to be more or less this sort of thing. Maybe the odd sort of rubbish culture reference. But, you know, trying to keep things fairly light. I'm not I won't be talking about, if I do mention the Qi, I'm not going to pretend I can move people with my Qi, because I think it's just a bag of nonsense, that. But the Qi is something you feel in your body. So some of these exercises, you might start feeling warmth in your hands. And you could say, well, what is that? Is it circulation? Is it the Qi? Is it the Qi driving the circulation? Is the circulation driving the Qi? Probably a bit of both, really. Okay. It's generally not a bad thing if your hands warm up. It's quite a good thing. So remember, for this posture, we're going to sink and turn the waist. We catch the moon. Don't try and overturn either. We transfer the weight. And we do want to be pointing to the east. Okay. So even if you just turn a little bit and you turn your foot a little bit more, just as you transfer the weight, just allow it to get the rest of the way there. Okay. So that's the first half of our first sort of main posture, called ward off left. Zuo Peng is its Chinese name. Apologies if I get the tones wrong. I should really have written that down. Zuo is left, Peng is this sort of ward off sort of action. Okay, so keep practicing, keep calm, all that sort of stuff, and see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. See you next time. Thank you.